So I'm John Paul. I lived at the Center Forum for like 8 years, about on and off. I'm one of the people, many people that came through here that I got a chance to meet and get to know a little bit. One of the fellows that came by was named Mark. He was from BC. He grew up in a little small town, like maybe a couple thousand people in total. The most exciting part of his life there was getting a job at a library. Riveting, sounds riveting, job at a library. And he loved reading. He was very much a book person. And he decided one day that his new goal was to go out and relive some of these adventures that he's read about in books. So he got himself a CN rail pass for one summer, for a month, and he traveled all over Canada. He made a nice long pit stop in Toronto where I got a chance to meet him. He stayed here for well past his 1 month, and he stayed here for like pretty much a whole year. His sister even came down at some point in time to meet up with him, and she came from South America, if I'm not mistaken, where she had gotten married with her old-time friend from childhood. And Mark was always doing stuff with books. He had found one of our friends who had like stacks and stacks of books that nobody has anymore, and he attached a camera to like a tripod almost, and he just took a picture of every single page, just the right area on each page, and he just digitized all these books, just like 100 books. Just sat down and did this for a while, and the guy, he was just so happy to have them digitized, and he gave him some money, and Mark's like, oh no, this is just so I can have them too. He's like, no, this took you a lot of time, do it, please, thank you so much. He wound up staying there for a while too, very good people. Mark, while he was there, I got a chance to see a lot of sides of Mark. I got to see him grow. When he came in, he was all of 18 or 19, and I think it's entirely possible that I might have been there to share his first smoke, and maybe his first time getting drunk or something. I'm not even sure, but there were a lot of firsts. I remember one day he came here. He hadn't been here for a few months, and he had a full beard. I'm like, who is this man that's sitting in my kitchen? Oh, hey, I know you. Did he open his mouth? Like, we just started the conversation back up, just like how we left it. We met lots of interesting people. He actually helped me kind of get out of my shell that I had kind of dug myself into here. And he's like, why don't you post some stuff on online, John Paul? We'll just meet up some random people and just hang out and do some stuff. And that's what we did. We just met some random people just for a day, It was really cool. It was a little bit easier than just walking around, which is a little bit more, the opposite of an introvert. Extroverted option. I'm more an inside person. So we did that, and unfortunately, just recently, I found out that Mark was living with some people, and him and his girlfriend and another woman, and unfortunately, the house burnt down with them inside of it. It was fairly tragic. Probably the only person I've ever known that's died under such circumstances that I was actually so close to. It's given me a lot to think about in the past few days. Still not quite sure how I feel about everything, but I know that when he died, he had lived so much of life. He just lived every single day was like life and new adventure to him. The man traveled from BC all the way across Canada via trains. They stopped here in Toronto. He went out to the East Coast and spent some time there. He went up to the frickin' Yukon and saw the Aurora Borealis for firsthand and hung out there until it started getting dark every day. And then he traveled down to South America to visit with his sister and her new husband that she married down there. They spent a lot of time down there for a while. And all the time he would do odd jobs. He worked as a farmer, as a handyman. He would put up posters, whatever kind of little odd jobs he could do. He was just happy to be out and doing things and not just stuck in nice quiet town BC, stuck in his library where he could only read about doing adventures. Now he was actually going out and doing them. I know that when he was here at the Center Forum, it was a very great time. I don't think I'd ever saw that boy with a frown on his face. He was always happy to be here. Always happy every day to be awake. He'd be like, hey, I'm at the Center Forum. I'm at the right spot right now. Any day he knew that this goes for anybody that's at the Center Forum along. Anytime you come home, there's a chance and a possibility there might be a party just going on, just really impromptu. You come home from work, you think you're feeling a little blue, whatever. You come home, there's a party there, and suddenly boom, you're energized. Like, yeah, all right, let's stay up and party. I can do this every day. So it's nice. You always wind up talking to new, interesting people. Sometimes, I would say 80% of the time, awesome, cool people that you have really amazing conversation with. Sometimes people will just walk in right off the street in the summer and springtime when it's nice. And we just keep the door open, create a breeze, and to literally have the door to open policy. You get interesting people who walk in and just go, "What is this place?" You're like, well, if you bothered to have enough curiosity to walk in, this is your kind of place. And then we sit them down. It's almost always the first question we ask. They're like, "What is this place like? Oh, would you like some coffee? How about a glass of wine? Maybe a beer? Would you like to go and have a smoke?" People are always, they're almost taken aback at the fact that there's a place in the world where they get offered something right away just for having the guts to walk in and just be there. As opposed to, anywhere else where if you go somewhere you're not supposed to, you get yelled at and scolded. Here it's like, "Hi, good, you're here. You're in the underground cinema, that we like to talk about, even though it's right on Bathurst Street here. You can just walk right in and just be part of it." And yeah, it's an amazing thing. And I lived here, like I said, for like 8 years, and best times of my life were spent right here, in the kitchen, or in one of my rooms, or just hanging out outside in the front of the back of the house. Just amazing people constantly coming through here. It was almost impossible to go a day and be bored because there was always someone around to hang out and chill with. I went years. I actually gave up my long-time video game addiction by living in this house. I just didn't have a computer for years when I lived here, other than for work, like just typing. I had like 8 GB hard drive while I could do on it with freaking Windows XP and WordPerfect. And I didn't have to entertain myself with games like that. I had real people that I could pretty much go downstairs and hang out in the kitchen and engage in a real conversation about some topics that I probably didn't even know about. Someone would be like, "Hey, Job, have you read this book?" No. "Oh, well, here you go, read it. Come back in a couple hours when you're done." It was really kind of interesting. It was the best education that no one could ever give you other than right here.
Cheers, that was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.